Well, great morning, Chit Chat Kit Kats. Did you see that video of Christmas at Mar-a-Lago? Melania is sitting there talking with her father, and Trump is sitting there by his lonesome. Nobody interacting with him. He looked like the loneliest man on the planet. And what I got, it's coming into it, people are, again, walking away from him. His thing with Melania isn't a marriage, it's a contract. She's a paid escort. Okay, that's it. To make him look good, like he can actually have a woman, on his arm. And he's, facing loss. And what I got with it was the victimizer is now becoming the victimized. Okay? The abuser has now become the abused. That he's only around because people can use him. The user is now the one that's being used. He's facing loss. He's looking at overseas, what's coming in, what actions are happening, and I think the woman has the upper hand. Okay? He's in this mental drama of the strength of things that are being handed out now. And there are those, again, that are charging forward and abusing their power, abusing things because he's still a useful idiot. But the truth of all his popularity, etc., nobody likes him. Nobody can stand him. It's only how much he can be used. And like I said, at Christmas time, Melania wouldn't even speak with him. They had a thing around him so people really couldn't come up. And again, he looked like the loneliest, most miserable man on the planet. Not that I have a lot of sympathy for him. But in that moment, you could see really all his bravado, all his drama that he puts out on stage. When the camera wasn't on him, or he didn't know it was on him, you could see what's behind that mask. A defeated little man, miserable. Okay? And I think his niece is right. He's unlovable. He wants to be loved, but you can't love somebody that's a snake. You have to be, some sort of perverse to want to love a snake. My apologies to all the snake lovers out there. But, he's like an adder. Turns around and he's toxic. He doesn't trust anybody. And he can't be trusted. And his whole thing is just about doom, gloom, and revenge, trying to tear others down to put himself on a pedestal. and it's a miserable life. Okay? His only time is when he's in the spotlight, and he can brag on himself, because nobody else is going to do it. Nobody else is behind the scene, unless they want something from this fool. Then they'll say he's the most fabulous guy on the planet. Because this is what he does. You know, he's one of these that wants to use flattery, okay, to pull somebody in, to use and abuse them and then throw them under the bus. And that's how they get to him as well. They use flattery. Tell him he's so fabulous, you're so smart, you're so, and he's an idiot. And when they flatter him, he thinks he's gotten one over on them. But yeah, the Christmas thing. Really, you could see what's under the surface. That mask had fallen for a few moments. And you could see him sitting there. Really miserable. Everybody else is engaged with others, people talking and he's by himself, by his lonely, sitting there. Pathetic. That's a word I have to use for it. When you saw him sitting there, it was absolutely, utterly pathetic. You almost feel sorry for him in one way. He's a very broken human being. And really miserable behind the scenes, because he's always fighting these feelings of inadequacy. And because he's so inadequate, he wants to be over the top in telling how fabulous he is. And now he's doing that third party thing, talking about Trump, talking about himself in the third person. Now we know that he's done these things before, that he has set up and called in and talked about Trump. And it was himself talking, trying to elevate himself. He's done that before, but now it's becoming even more coming out that he's doing that, talking about himself in the third person, about how fabulous Trump is, and Trump is doing this and Trump is doing that. So mentally, his schism is getting worse. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. If you see that video, the only word you can use for that is absolutely pathetic. He looks like a drowned cat out in the rain. Okay? Heavy rain coming out, this cat that's been bedraggled and just, So I wanted to put that out there. Like I said, you almost feel sorry for him when you see that picture. He's his own worst enemy. And inside, he's a very sad, very fractured, very miserable, lonely man who covers up the pain by inflicting pain on others because he feels so rejected. He doesn't belong. He's never invited in. And yes, at the moment he's feeling quite sorry for himself, not realizing he's brought all this on himself with his own actions in life. But when I tune into him, I just feel, it's on the verge of tears, a lot of internal pain. And just this, it's like this prickly thing, I'm going to get you before you get me type of thing with him. Very sad, very miserable, very lonely. Never feeling accepted. So he's going to be the bully. He's going to, he's going to show you. Toxic, painful. What a mix. What a mix. All of his lashing out and stuff is like this little boy that's never been accepted. And he's going to show everybody just how brilliant he is. Very sad state of affairs. Yeah, I just feel this emptiness in there that tries to get covered over. But there's a hole there. And he's really a sad, pathetic person. But you have to watch him every second because he's an adder. He's a snake. A miserable snake. But nonetheless, he is a snake. So it's this mixed feeling of understanding how broken he is and how he lashes out and how it's all a protection mechanism. From his childhood, that he just never has gotten any maturity. This is not excusing anything that he's done by any means. But just going behind the scenes and feeling that emotion that's there, that's just a sad, sad, pathetic mix of sadness, loneliness, trying to prop himself up, and really so miserable under the surface. Yeah, this is a person of a lot of pain, a lot of pain. Anyway, I want to get out of that energy now because it's just, ooh. Yeah. Yeah, he's got to rape little girls to make himself feel like he's some sort of a man. Because he's afraid of real women. He's afraid of real women. Like I said, he's got to pay Melania. And he doesn't get anywhere close to her. You know, I'm wondering if Baron was not conceived by it's definitely his child, but I don't think they really had too much intimacy. Well, except for when they were on Epstein's plane. Okay. That's the first time they had sex, was on Epstein's plane. And I think Baron, well, maybe it was, maybe she did do the deed to get Baron to put Trump more under her thumb. Okay? Because she is very calculating. And when he was with her, she wasn't that pretty. Okay? You look at her stuff before all her plastic surgery, and Ivanka as well, before the plastic surgery, was not that attractive. I'm sorry. She thought she was something big. Okay? Now Ivanka was put in that stuff, and we know something happened with her as well, because you see that time when she was up in the bedroom and showing it, and that going across her face, you could see their bad memories with that bedroom. Yeah. And he wanted that one girl because she looked like Ivanka. Yeah. It's just so much. It's just a swamp. Just feels like a big swamp. Yep. And they want to try to cover it over with gold and you know, but you look in there, Mar-a-Lago, there's nothing inviting about it. It's cold, it's sterile. Okay? A lot of empty spaces with fake gold and all this, you know. Nothing inviting about it, nothing comfortable, okay? Anyway, on that note, I'll leave that here. But, yeah. Not a happy holidays, for sure. And you didn't see any of the other kids there or anything, did you, at Mar-a-Lago? Don Jr. wasn't there, Eric wasn't there, Ivanka wasn't there. He was at a big table alone with Melania, and Melania had her father there. And nobody was interacting with Trump. Yeah. Merry Christmas, Trump. Sad, pathetic, drowned cat out in the rain, Trump.